Okay, so let's take a look at how you can create JSON database into Oracle Cloud and then create a collection and documents for you to use within that particular collection, right? So let's take a look at first thing. We log into Oracle Cloud, then we go to Oracle database, right? Then we check autonomous JSON database. Now I already have one instance created. You can go ahead and click on create autonomous database. This step is important because we'll have to create a JSON specific workload type database, right? So give it a display name and database name. I'm keeping both the same, and select the JSON as workload, then shared infrastructure as deployment option, then configure the database with database version, CPU count and storage. Also I will put a password for admin, and there you have also network access. You can pick up a endpoint which is secure, or you can access from anywhere. Along with that, you also choose your own license and then create autonomous database. So in my case, I will just accept the already created one. Right, so here you can see I have my instance ready. Then I will click on database action, which will open up another window. It will ask me to enter the username and password. So I will paste the password that I just used during the creation of this. Now once we add username and password, click on sign in and we sign into Oracle database action for JSON database, right? Now one more thing to look at is your top menu, where you have access to data studio and development. Here you use your JSON editor to work on your JSON database. You can also data load any other accepted file type and get the data into this database and view it in tabular form and then edit in SQL editor. So now the discussion is specifically for JSON database. So I will click on JSON editor. Now the next thing would be going through this mandatory tour, right? And I will go through that and give you idea where to start with the collection. Right, now the thing is, here we will have to start with create collection, right? So let's say I have few files to go through. So I have like this employee JSON file. I will try and open it in Visual Studio Code, right? And then we will use its content to create a sample document, right? So I will just remove this. Not sure if it allowing me to do that. You can also enable this for MongoDB compatibility. Then you will get underscore ID as one of the fields. Now here in file, you can see I have this employee.json file. I will select everything, copy this and come back to your Oracle Cloud. Here we will name it employee, right? And then click create, right? So we have like our collection. When we click on it, you will find that there is nothing to display, right? So next would be here you will click on new JSON document. So it will open up interface like this. Then we go to the file here and basically copy the first document and let me paste it here, right? Now let me create this, and as you can see I have one document inside this collection. Now let's add around 4 such documents, right? And I will click on create, right? So let's add the third document, right? And once we do that, we'll move on, right? So another document, click on create. 1 2 3 and 4. So we have like 4 documents here. I can double click on them and see them here. I can change their content as well if I want to save them, and you will see there is nothing to change also. Here you will also find that if you have any query to run to, you can use that. Here you can also use view collection SQL. Here you can see the option to go through this in SQL style. Right now there is also one more thing, which is using the diagram. Here you can see your basically the data type for this particular employee collection, string number, etc. Right, then we have like collection details. Let's take a look at that. So you have like key column, content column, have stats, dependencies, index size, index. Right now one more thing to look at is importing the document. So if we have file like this, right, and if I say that we are trying to import the document, then I will have to simply point to employee JSON. If I click open, you will notice that there are errors because it is going to show you repeated entries, right? So that's one of the reason it is failing. Now there is also option to delete all documents from the list, right? So we looked at all the options available to us, right? Then there is also SQL option for this to view this in a tabular format, so it will be same as opening this SQL editor, right? So what we have done so far here is we created our JSON database within Oracle Cloud, and then that JSON database we moved to database actions. Then we created our collection employee and added the documents, right? So you get the idea how to do all of this flow and get things done. Now few more things to cover here. Basically you have to also get the option to create new collection from here. Also you can delete the collection by right clicking and then click on drop. You can also create indexes. You have to give it a name using this plus icon. You create new index name, then type if it's unique, index nulls, path, etc. Then click on create. That should do. The next thing is you have to also consider the option to access this outside your Oracle Cloud. So for that you will be making use of, let's say, MongoDB Compass like interface, and you can access your documents there, right? Also for that you will have to enable your tool configuration. Go to MongoDB API, make sure this is enabled. You will need a private endpoint to have it enabled, right? And then you will also be making queries from there. You can also use shell to do that, and you can run the queries through shell. I think you making use of this JSON editor is much better option in case if you are running short on using the terminal or command line interface. In that case I would say it's better to use this JSON editor as it has all the options required and it can get you started with the database properly, right? Also a lot of options that you find here, like adding the user and working with data load, also using this data for Apex, all of that possible. So you can use external editor like say MongoDB Compass only for the sake of let's say external data management. Other than that, I don't see much difference here. You can either use terminal or this interface. That would be more than good enough.